Interest on debentures. You know, whenever we take loan, we have to service the loan. I mean to say, we have to repay, and secondly, we have to pay interest. This debenture is a basically loan from the public. So company must pay interest on that. Now the question is how much? It is always written in the prospectus. So in this question, we'll assume that the rate of interest is fixed. And secondly, interest on debentures is a nominal account. It's an expense for the firm. So every year at the time of closing, the amount of interest must be transferred to profit and loss account debit side. Now one more thing, the question is at what time we should pay the interest. This condition is always made clear in the prospectus. Generally in India, the interest on debentures is paid after every 6 months. And one thing more, I would like to make it clear to you that it is the duty of company to deduct income tax out of that interest money. And that income tax must be paid to income tax department. So in the upcoming questions, we'll assume that company is supposed to deduct 10% income tax on interest. And one thing more, interest is always paid on face value. It is never paid on issue price or redemption price. And whenever you pass the journal entry for interest on debentures, first of all, you should make it due and then pay. Let's do one question based on payment of interest on debentures. Suppose on 1st April 2010, company issues 10,000 10% debentures of 10 each. They were issued at 10 and they were redeemable at 10. And they were to be redeemed at the end of 2 years, means in lump sum. And the money of the debentures is called in lump sum. And the interest on debentures is paid half yearly. And the dates of the payments are 30th September and 31st March. So, journal entry at the time of issue will be on 1st April 2010, bank account debit to 10% debenture application account, 10% debenture application account debit to 10% debentures account. That will be 1 lakh rupees for both of them. And now 30th September 2010, after 6 months, today is the due date of interest. The face value of the debenture is 1 lakh and the annual interest at the rate of 10% is 10,000. But we have to pay only for 6 months. It means we are supposed to pay 5,000 interest to the debenture holders. So the journal entry will be interest on debentures account debit to debenture holder. Interest on debenture account debit 5,000 to debenture holder. We cannot write down 5,000 rupees because we have to deduct 10% income tax. And the 10% of 5,000 is 500. It means the amount due to debenture holder is only 5,000 minus 500, that is 4,500. And to income tax payable 500. It means total interest due is 5,000. Out of that 4,500 will be paid to the debenture holders and 500 will be paid to the income tax department. Now send the check to the debenture holders. Debenture holder to bank 4,500. Now you have to send a check to the income tax department. That will be income tax payable account debit to bank account. So you have seen in this journal entries, first of all, we have made the interest on debentures due, then we have paid it to both. I mean to say debenture holders as well as income tax department. Now, 31st March 2011, after 6 months. Again, 6 months interest on debenture is due. So the journal entry will be interest on debenture account debit 5,000 to debenture holders 4,500 to income tax payable account 500. Now make the payments. Debenture holder to bank 4,500 rupees. Income tax payable account debit to bank 500 rupees. But today is the closing, 31st March. We are assuming that books are closed on 31st March each year in this company. Books are closed means our final accounts, financial statements, I am to say balance sheet and profit and loss account prepared on this date. So interest on debenture has been debited in our books. Now it must be transferred to profit and loss account. Naturally, this is the expenditure and it will reduce our profits. So the journal entry will be profit and loss account debit to interest on debentures account. Total 5,000 plus 5,000, 10,000. Now 30th September 2011. Again the same thing. The interest is due today for 6 months. That will be interest on debentures account debit to debenture holder to income tax payable account. The amounts will be 5,000, 4,500 and 500. And debenture holder to bank account 4,500. Income tax payable account debit to bank account 500 rupees. Next journal entry is on 31st March 2012. Again 6 months have passed. The interest on debenture is due today for 6 months. Interest on debentures account debit to debenture holders account to income tax payable account. And the amounts will be 5,000, 4,500 and 500 rupees. Now make the payment to debenture holders for interest. Debenture holder to bank 4,500 and make the payment to income tax department. Income tax payable account debit to bank account 500 rupees. One thing more. Today the due date of debentures. We have to redeem the debentures. We have to repay the money of debenture holders. So journal entry will be 10% debentures account debit to debenture holders and debenture holder to bank account. And the amounts will be 1 lakh rupees.